Now we're going to add the bottom portion, some headphones, and a few other little pieces. So what I want you to do is go over to the ellipse tool. We're going to create an ellipse right here for the pelvis area. Then I'm going to take, also before we kind of begin, it'd be good to give yourself some more space. So I'm going to take the black arrow, click and drag to select everything that I've drawn so far. So you can see from far away I've selected everything. I'm just going to hold shift and pull from the corner to make it smaller, and then kind of pull it up. You'll notice that the thick lines still look pretty thick. I can, with everything selected, I can go over and change the stroke to like a 1-point stroke, so they're a little bit thinner. That's definitely going to help you out. Alright, so I'm going to zoom into this area, which is what I just created, this oval. After you create the oval, I want you to grab the same tool again, the ellipse tool. This time, though, I want you to hold shift and create a circle. And once you create that circle, take the V, hit V on your keyboard to get to the black arrow, click, move it like that. Then hold Option, drag it to the other side. Okay. Then I'm going to have you take the rectangle tool, same thing we did for the arm. You're going to click and drag, fill it with the black and white. Then I want you to kind of rotate a little bit, and you're going to put it kind of like that. Right click, arrange, send to back. You can copy this now and flip it to the other side by holding Option and then going with the black arrow and rotating it to the other side. Then from there, we're going to take these two, hold Option, copy them again. I'm going to click away in this white area with the black arrow, and then just click and kind of move like this, like that. Okay, and then from there, what I'm actually going to do is select with the group selection tool here, that white arrow with the plus sign. I'm going to grab the piece that was the forearm of the hand. I'm also going to grab this piece here. So it's these two pieces, if you can see them, two pieces. Then what I want you to do is hold Option and copy them, and then move this down here. So this is going to be part of the leg. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. You can take the black arrow and you can rotate it. That's fine. You can kind of go in any section. All right. I'm going to take this white arrow with the plus sign one more time, the group selection tool. I'm going to click away, and I'm going to click on just this piece and kind of move it up. Just this piece and kind of move it up a little bit. All right, now remember, yours can be a little bit different. You can take any of these pieces and just kind of like, you can take this one and this one and this one and just kind of move them over a little bit. And then you can take this piece with the black arrow and you can rotate. They don't have to be exactly like I have them. As long as they're pretty close, you will get the credit for doing it. Now, you'll notice that on here we had these little circles, right? So what I would like you to do is just click with that group selection tool, grab those circles like this, holding shift to grab the circles. And then what I want you to do is hold Option and copy that piece. You can see it from far away here. And then I want you to take that and kind of move it like this, and I'm going to bring it to the front. Right click, arrange, bring to front. If that doesn't work, you can always go to Edit, Cut, Edit, Paste in front, and you'll see it come on top. And then what I would like to do is just resize the corner. So you can kind of make it look like it's got the same thing that the shoulders have. And these can be put onto the other pieces as well, just so everything looks kind of uniform. So I'm just copying each one like that. And if you need to rotate them, so you rotate them so they look a little different on this side. Okay, just like that, looks pretty good. Then what I would like to do is you're going to grab the rounded rectangle tool. We're going to click and drag, kind of like that, nice and thin. Then what I'm going to do is take the black arrow, copy that one, pull it down. Then we're going to go into a new tool here, which is called the blend tool. And if you double click the blend tool, you'll see this little box pops up. We want to tell it to do specified steps. We're going to do 4 of them, and we're going to hit OK. And you can see nothing has happened until I click one and then click the other. And you see it does the steps in between. And what's cool about it is that you can grab the group selection tool, click away, click only one piece, and when you move it, the rest will follow. So what I want you to do with this is first take the black arrow, grab the whole thing, move it over here to the bottom kind of area like that. And with that group selection tool, click away, click on it. And remember, like I said, you could do a lot to it. You can move it and scrunch it down a little bit. You can even take the black arrow when you grab just the top piece, and you can expand just the top piece. And you can kind of move it up, right? Then I'm going to right-click, arrange, send to back, so it's behind everything. Now I could do the same thing for the rest of the whole group. Select, arrange, send to back. See, it's kind of behind it. Or if you'd like, and you want yours in front, by all means, put it in front. I don't care how you're going to have it. Then what I would like you to do is select all of the leg pieces by selecting all of them. You can do one big selection like this. All right? And let's put that on top. Right-click, arrange, bring to front. So it's kind of on top of things a little bit. All right? Very good. Let's select the head and everything that's the hair, the head, the mouth, and let's just move that up. Okay? I'm going to make it a little smaller actually. Just holding shift and pulling with the black arrow to make it a little smaller. This piece that we used to connect the body and the lower piece, let's grab it with the black arrow, hold option, drag it, move it, and then let's just rotate it so it's upside down. So you get the same kind of thing happening, right? If I right click, arrange, and send to back, see what you have, right? And remember, we always could take the group selection tool, click on this top one, just kind of move it down, and it will squish everything down, and then we would select the entire face with the eyes and the mouth and the hair, and just move that down, right on top. Okay, we have those things so far. That's looking good. Let's give this thing some feet. I did it a little bit differently in class, but if you haven't done them, here's how we're going to do the legs. I mean the feet. We're going to do a rounded rectangle. We're going to click and drag. Then I want you to take the eyedropper and select one of the parts of the leg so it's the same color as the leg. And then from there, we're going to give this another kind of giant bumper almost at the bottom here, like this. And let's color that with a different color. I'm going to use black. And then from there, we're going to create another one that goes right on top. I'm going to right click on that, arrange, and send to back. That's going to be the tongue of the shoe basically. Then you can see closely here, it almost looks like a hamburger of some kind. I'm going to click and drag to create these little lines. Now once we have those lines, I'm going to copy them just 2 times. So you get 3 little laces that show up. Alright? Then from there, what we're going to do is select the entire piece, right click and group it, move it over to here, and you can see it works as kind of a sneaker. And then I'm going to hold option to copy that group, and you could also, when you grab it, you could rotate a little bit so it's on a little bit of an angle, a little bit different than the first one, and that's totally fine. Inside the chest area here, just take a few of these different tools, rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, star, even the flare one, and put a couple of little things in here. So for example, that, right? And I'm going to move them, and then I'm going to change their color for their fill. So you're going to make one there, make one here, just kind of move stuff around a little bit. Then you can use some circles. I just want you to have some fun with the middle of this, right? Use whatever kind of colors you want, like I said. A couple of buttons. If you do some rows of buttons, you're also going to see that flare like I was talking about, which you can make like a little flare kind of thing in there. Almost looks like a star. Rounded ellipse. Right, different colors, different lengths. A little button with a rectangle. We even have one here. If you right click where the line segment tool is, there's one that says rectangular grid, and you can kind of click and drag to make a grid. Looks like a bunch of buttons. You can change the stroke, and you kind of see that. So fill up the inside of that with something that you've got. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we're almost done at this point. All we're going to add is the earphones, and what we're going to do for that is we're going to do the rounded rectangle. What I want you to do is kind of click and pull, then click and pull again, and you're going to do it a 3rd time. So you get 3 in a row. You can color these anything you want. I'm going to color them blue so we can see them. I'm going to do that for all 3. You can select all 3 and just hit the fill of that color, and they'll all get selected, right? If you want to, you can take one and put one behind the other. Doesn't really make that big of a difference, but you can see what it looks like when it's behind, or like this one I can kind of put in front of, or behind. Okay. And then from there, what I would like you to do is create a, take the black arrow, select the whole thing, right click, group it, copy it with Option, slide it to the other side, click here on the reflect tool, double click it, just hit OK so it flips to the other side. We're going to then move that group over to where the ear would be. Do the same thing for this one with the black arrow, move it where the ear would be. And then we're going to put a little rounded rectangle like this. And I'm going to make it a little bit, by holding the down arrow, I'm going to make the edges a little bit more straight, kind of like that. I'm going to put one more right on top, same exact tool, same thing, like that. So it's two rounded rectangle boxes right on top of one another. Matter of fact, I'm going to take the black arrow, I'm just going to hold shift, I'm going to move them out of the way so you can see them over here better. And once one's on top of the other and they're about lined up, you're going to grab both, go to your Pathfinder, and hit this button here, which will subtract the front one. Then you just drag it back over. All right. And you can even stretch it out a little bit so it touches that side. You can stretch it out a little bit so it touches that side, right? You can right click and put it behind depending on how it's going to look for you. And you can see he's got little headphones going on now. For the eyebrows, if you go to, where is it? There it is. The line tool here, line segment tool, you can give it whatever. I would give it no fill, just with a black color, maybe a 1-point stroke or 2-point stroke. You can kind of click and drag holding shift and you'll get a line. So you can make a line for whatever part you want. You can even kind of click and drag to make a little bit of a nose. And then you're going to go to the arc tool. With the arc tool, I'm going to zoom in and you can see what you do here. You just click and pull and you get a curve. If you hit the up arrow, it makes the curve curvier. If you hit the down arrow, it'll bend it in the opposite direction. So I just want you to kind of do that to get a nice little eyebrow going. For the other side, just hold Option and it will go in the opposite direction. So I can then pull this kind of over there. If you don't like that they're a little different, you could always take one with the black arrow, select it, hold Option, and copy it. And then, of course, flip it with the reflect tool. Hit OK, and it's on the other side. Okay. So this is just basic colors, basic shapes. That's all we've used for this entire project. I'm going to take the black arrow, select the entire thing, right click and group the entire thing together. And I'm going to kind of move it down a little bit. The last steps for this are going to be the background. Once you get to the background, come see me and we will discuss it.